Hey everybody, ronarray here, and as we receive more and more information about 0.4 and the Druid, together with shapeshifting skills in particular, the whole league becomes more and more exciting. So in this video, I wanted to talk about different Ascendancy options for all type of Druids, starting with the Bear Druid, following with the Wolf Druid, and ending up with Wyvern Druid. I think for at least a few of them, there's more Ascendancy options than just going for Druid. Especially since some particular Ascendancies got buffed, and I think they're going to synergize pretty good with the whole shape-shifting idea. Let's go, and I will be able to explain what kind of options we currently have and what I consider the best. So first off, let's talk about the Bear Druid form. So you're going to shapeshift into the bear and use skills like slams, rampage, and stuff like that. Generally, I'm going to league start the bear myself, and you can find my guide both in the description and in the pinned comment. And I'm going to use a Shaman for it. I'm absolutely sure that Shaman is going to be one of the best options for the whole setup, just because of the one basic idea. At the moment, Shaman has Furious Wellspring, which is going to give you no inherent loss of rage, and regenerate 6% of your maximum rage per second. It's also going to give you increases and reductions to mana regeneration rate, also apply to rage regeneration rate, together with maximum rage. So at the moment, I believe that all those bonuses, just the rage generation, is going to make Shaman a very comfortable option, because it will be able to start using the rampage in the Waystones right after joining, since you need to get rage to start using rampage when you're joining them up. With any other Ascendancy, you will need to run around and find the monsters, start hitting them, generate rage, and start using the rampage only after. However, Shaman will be able to just join them up and start using the rampage after a few seconds, staying in there. And I also believe that rage regeneration, especially buffed by mana regeneration, is going to make it very comfortable. You're also going to get significantly easier approach to Walking Calamity, because at the moment, when you're looking at the Walking Calamity skill, it gives you, while in bear form, build glory by gaining rage while already at maximum rage. And if you're not using the rampage and not losing rage in general, you will be able to generate rage significantly faster together with the Shaman bonus. And it's going to be even faster because Walking Calamity by itself is already giving you fire damage and some rage regeneration too. So it's going to work just perfectly, making your rage regeneration as high as possible. So the next, in my opinion, is going to work very good for the bear form is Smith of Kitava. I honestly think that Smith at the moment looking pretty strong for it because of the various reasons. First off, currently Smith is getting a pretty nice buff for a spell on hit, and I think it's going to stack so well with all the changes. So if we will look at the Smith Ascendancy, there's Hit of the Forge, grant skill fire spell on melee hit. That way, when you're hitting your enemies, you will be able to constantly cast some fire spells. It could be anything, from Living Bomb to the Comet if you would prefer it. And you can also get nice resistances and additional tankiness from Smith. So I believe at the moment Smith is looking pretty nice. However, I think it's going to perform a little worse than Shaman, especially at the league start environment, because rage regeneration from Shaman is going to be just amazing, and I believe the adaptation is going to make Shaman almost as tanky as Smith, if not even tankier if it's going to stack properly. And another S option is probably Titan. At the moment, I wanted to play the Titan in A, but I believe after all those buffs, Titan should be together with a Shaman. I believe that Shaman still will probably have higher quality of life, but Titan looking like a very strong option too. Mostly just because of how strong Titan is as the Ascendancy. So when we are looking at the Titan bonuses, it has one of the strongest passives in the game, Hulking form. 50% increased effect of small passive skills, which is looking absolutely amazing. It also will get additional aftershocks, and it will get surprising strength. It's just completely deleted right now, so you will just get 25% more damage together with Crushing Impacts. I think at the moment, Titan is probably looking like second best option after the Shaman. I'm still probably going to start like Shaman because I believe in quality of life, but I'm absolutely sure that Titan is going to be even stronger than Kitava in comparison. And for the bear option, I think you can still play something like Monk, even if Monk is not going to be best for it, especially since it's starting too far to the right. I still think it's possible because Monk will be able to provide some defenses, and you can play it with Energy Shield if you prefer. And as another option, I also think you can try to do something like Ritualist, because Ritualist is stacking pretty well with almost any skill at the game at the moment. And next part is pretty much Pathfinder. Since Pathfinder have a very cool bonus right now, which allows Pathfinder to start on the tree from Warrior or Sorceress. You will be able to just use a Pathfinder and start from the Warrior, while getting cool additional passives bonus, sprint bonus and stuff like that. I don't think it's too important for the bear, but Pathfinder is looking like such amazing all-rounder that you will be able to play it with almost any build at the moment. And the last option is probably WitchHunter, which is, my opinion, could play bear as well, especially since Sorcerer Ward is going to provide so much tankiness. However, I believe that, for example, Titan or even Shaman with good adaptation is going to be very tanky as well, so there's barely any point to bother with WitchHunter at the current situation. So that's how it looks for the bear at the moment. Personally, I'm still going to start Shaman, but I believe the Titan is going to be very close to the Shaman in general, and Smith of Kitava and Pathfinder both are looking decent as well. Now, let's talk about Wolf and Wolf form. And right now, I would say the best Wolf is pretty unusual. I believe the best Wolf Ascendancy at the moment is Pathfinder. Because Pathfinder will provide a lot of additional speed, it can be stunned when you are sprinting, it can also start from Warrior too, so you're practically starting from the same position when Druid would start. And you can start a lot of melee damage on the Pathfinder. You're going to get additional passives for yourself as well, and you can turn your basic stat nodes into damage or defenses or even cost efficiency, which could help a lot. And the second Ascendancy, which is in my opinion going to be absolutely amazing for Wolf, is Amazon. So Amazon at the moment is an amazing Ascendancy for the endgame, as probably one of the best ones. It could have a little harder issues with scaling exactly at the start, but I believe it's going to perform very good at the moment. It's going to give you very nice amount of evasion, especially if you're going to use armor only on your body armor, or will not use armor at all. I think if you're going to play Wolf, you can still stack like for example, evasion rating together with energy shield, so Amazon is making a lot of sense for it. And you can also get cool bonuses to your damage, because Amazon right now can provide so much with practically no investment. So just looking at what we have, you can get a pretty cool leech. And elemental leech, I think, would be very important for Amazon to feel good. You can get pretty nice amount of crit just from critical strike, and I believe for playing Wolf, going for criticals is going to be very important. And you can also get, for example, additional nodes such as Predatory Instinct or Penetrate, or practically anything, because at the Amazon, every node that you can reach is going to be good for the build itself, so it's going to provide you damage or survivability. That way, I believe Ranger or Amazon is like the best option for the Wolf. I believe that WitchHunter that we already mentioned could be pretty good for it. You're starting in the lower part of the tree, you're getting a lot of survivability from the ward, so I think it should be absolutely fine in that case. And the next step is just getting more damage. I believe WitchHunter right now not providing that much, but you can still get a lot of passives to swap your weapon sets and utilize various bonuses through it. So A tier just for WitchHunter, I think it's a very good place. You can also do a Titan with Wolf, which is looking pretty strong because any melee build is currently going to work well on Titan. And I believe Invoker as a Wolf looking not that bad as well. It's probably going to get outperformed by Pathfinder because of the speed, and by Amazon because of the whole versatility that Amazon Kit is bringing, but you can still get a very decent amount of additional spirit and, for example, play cast on crit Wolf. So Invoker should be pretty decent for such setup. Which is not amazing for Wolf in my opinion is Shaman, because Shaman is mostly built with like Bear or Wyvern in mind. Wolf currently has not a lot of ways to spend the rage, and the main reason to play the Shaman is like rage itself. If you're not relying on that rage, I believe that going Shaman not making much sense. And as the other option, I believe that Ritualist should be a pretty normal option for the Wolf in general, because you can still play it. And Oracle, in my opinion, at the moment is very hard to predict Ascendancies, so based on what we can see, we can still get cool bonuses from like lesser than harm, so damage of enemies hitting you is unlucky, and for example get inevitable criticals together with bonuses from path not taken or even allied fate. However, I believe that Oracle at the moment is not looking that amazing for the Wolf, mostly because Wolf has no big AoE, and since a big idea to play Oracle literally build Aligned Fate, which is going to give you an additional enemy, like a shadow of that enemy that you will be able to hit at the same time as the main enemy, so it's going to help you against rares and bosses. I believe when you're playing Wolf, your attacks are just not hitting that good in terms of AoE, and it will be harder to hit multiple enemies. I think at best Oracle is probably going to be B, like A, and at worst it's probably going to be B together with Shaman, because it's looking more like variety ascendancies that will work good with spells or any other variations of things, not really with shapeshifting skills. And the last part is the Wyvern. And at the moment, I believe the situation with the Wyvern is very close to what we already have for the Wolf. So first off, I believe that Pathfinder is looking absolutely amazing for the Wyvern again. Amazon looking very decent because it's working pretty good, so it's definitely S tier for playing the Wyvern. I believe that Wyvern is heavily built around like ignites, and theoretically you can try to do something like Blood Mage for it, if you would prefer just focus on criticals. However, Blood Mage is usually just like a spell ascendancy, and that would be a little less normal, but I think it's taking some position. And you can still do something very basic like Titan. You can utilize the Shaman and Oracle, I believe, just for the Wyvern itself. And if you are doing the Wyvern, I think there's another interesting point to mention. You can practically utilize the projectiles, because a few skills for Wyvern is using the projectiles pretty proactively, so I believe using the Deadeye here could be a very decent option too. So I would end up with something like that for the Wyvern based on what we already know. Another interesting topic to mention, that for every Ascendancies that we're kinda talked about, and for every shapeshifting sets, like for Bear, Wolf and Wyvern, you will be able to combine the skills. So for example, you can use the Bear but take some skills from the Wyvern or even from the Wolf. I think it's going to boost the Bear even more, because you will be able to use cool skills from the Wolf, such as Pounce for example, and utilize them for better speed at the Bear when you're using big damage skills from the Bear just to destroy your enemies, which should make a combos probably a better option than just focusing only on one transformation. So you're mostly probably going to pick some particular skills from a few of them, but in the end you're going to add additional ones if they're going to suit your build. Overall, I believe that shapeshifting looking pretty strong for 0.4, and I hope that we all will be able to have a lot of fun with that. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. ronarray out.